The Secret to Making Money While You Sleep, Financial Freedom Guide. A question that will change your life. My friend, I'm going to ask you a question, and this question might completely transform your entire life. Have you ever dreamed of making money while you sleep? Waking up in the morning to find money has already been deposited into your account? Earning income while you're on vacation, spending time with your family, or even doing absolutely nothing at all? Maybe this sounds like a distant fantasy to you. Maybe it seems like something only the ultra-wealthy can achieve. But let me tell you a truth that most people never hear. This isn't a dream. This isn't fantasy. This is a system that the world's wealthiest individuals have been using for centuries. And today, right now, I'm going to share this exact system with you. Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. Write this sentence down somewhere. Frame it. Put it on your wall, tattoo it on your brain, because this single principle forms the foundation of everything you're going to learn in the next hour. Now stop and think for a moment. Picture two people in your mind. They live in the same city. They earn the same salary. They have similar expenses, similar lifestyles, similar backgrounds. But fast forward 10 years. One of them is still waiting for their paycheck every month, barely paying their bills, panicking at every unexpected expense, living in constant financial anxiety. The other one has achieved financial freedom, takes vacations whenever they want, works because they love it, not because they have to, and sleeps peacefully every night knowing their future is secure. What's the difference between these two people? Is it intelligence? Is it luck? Is it connections? Is it some secret advantage? No, my friend. The difference is simple. One of them built assets. The other one just spent money. That's it. That's the entire secret. And it's that simple, but it's also that powerful. What I'm going to teach you today is something that was never taught in schools. It's not part of any university curriculum. It's not something most families pass down to their children. How to build assets that pay you forever. What exactly are these assets? How do they work in the real world? Where do you even begin? And most importantly, how can you, starting from today, from this very minute, take action and begin building your own wealth machine? Are you ready, my friend? Because this journey could be the turning point of your entire financial life. Maybe years from now, when you look back, you'll remember this exact moment, listening to this audiobook, as the day everything changed for you. Let's begin. Chapter 1. What is an asset and why is it so critically important? The life-changing difference between assets and liabilities. Let's start from the very beginning, from the most fundamental concepts, because without truly understanding these principles, building real wealth is absolutely impossible. What is an asset? Let me put it in the simplest possible terms. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Every month, every year, on a regular and consistent basis, it brings money to you. It works for you even while you're sleeping, eating, relaxing, or living your life. A liability is the exact opposite. It's something that takes money out of your pocket. Every month, it drains your resources. It makes you poorer even while you're working hard to get ahead. That's it. That simple. But here's where the real problem begins. Most people don't know the difference between an asset and a liability. And what's even worse, they think their liabilities are actually assets. This fundamental misunderstanding keeps them trapped in poverty their entire lives, no matter how hard they work or how much they earn. They think their cars are assets. I bought a nice car, they say. It's going to appreciate in value. But that car demands gasoline every week, insurance payments every month, maintenance costs, repair bills, registration fees, taxes. Its value depreciates every single year. It constantly takes money from you, never gives. That's not an asset, my friend. That's a liability dressed up in a shiny package. They think their homes are assets. I bought a house, they proudly declare. I made an investment. But if they're living in that house themselves, that house takes money from them every single month. Mortgage payments, property taxes, homeowner association fees, repairs, maintenance, utilities. That house doesn't earn them a single penny. It only costs them money. That's not a wealth-building asset. Poor people buy liabilities and mistakenly believe they're assets. Rich people buy real assets first. Then, with the income those assets generate, they buy whatever luxuries they desire. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you come into $100,000. Maybe it's an inheritance, a bonus, savings you've accumulated. What do you do with it? The poor mindset immediately goes and buys a fancy car. Now they have an impressive vehicle sitting in their driveway, but every month that car costs them money. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, depreciation. They're getting poorer while looking richer. The wealthy mindset takes that same $100,000 and invests it in dividend-paying stocks, or perhaps a rental property. Every year, they receive $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in dividends or rental income. After a few years, they use those dividends to buy the car. Now they have the car and they still have their $100,000 in investments, and the dividends keep coming, and their wealth keeps growing. Do you see the difference? Same amount of money, completely opposite outcomes. One path leads to perpetual financial struggle. The other leads to ever-increasing wealth and freedom. Understanding the true nature of money. There's something else I need you to understand, my friend. Something fundamental about money that most people get completely wrong. We were told to save money. Save for a rainy day, they said. Saving is good, they preached. But nobody taught us how to make money actually work for us. Nobody explained the crucial difference between storing money and deploying money. Money that just sits there loses value over time. Inflation eats it alive. What $100 buys you this year, you'll need $110 to buy next year. If your money isn't working, if it's just sitting in a savings account earning minimal interest, you're actually getting poorer every single year without even realizing it. But when money works for you, the opposite happens. Your money earns more money. Then that earned money earns even more money. Then that money earns money too. The snowball grows and grows and grows. And one day, you look at what started as a small snowball, and it has transformed into an avalanche of wealth that nothing can stop. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. Wealth is about how much you keep and how hard you make that money work for you. Someone earning $100,000 a year but spending $99,000 is poorer than someone earning $30,000 but investing $10,000. Because the first person's wealth stays flat or shrinks. The second person's wealth grows every single month, every single year. Trading your time for money is a trap. Now, I'm going to tell you a truth that might be uncomfortable to hear, but you need to hear it, so listen carefully. Trading your time for money is a trap. Yes, you heard that correctly. Earning an hourly wage, collecting a monthly salary, billing by the hour, these are all forms of the same trap. Why? Because your time is limited. There are only 24 hours in every day, 7 days in every week. And even if you worked every single one of those hours, your earnings have a ceiling. You physically cannot work more. You cannot earn more. You've hit the limit. Poor people sell their time. They get paid for every hour they work. When they stop working, the money stops flowing. When they get sick, income disappears. When they take a vacation, their earnings pause. When they retire, the paychecks end. Rich people build systems. They earn money whether they personally work or not. They make money while sleeping, while traveling, while spending time with loved ones. They've created machines that generate wealth independently of their personal time investment. This is exactly why you must build assets. Because assets work for you. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They never get tired. They never complain. They never ask for raises. They never need vacation days. They never call in sick. Ask yourself this question honestly. If you stopped working tomorrow, what would happen? If you couldn't work for an entire month, would your income continue? If you were bedridden for 6 months, could you still pay all your bills? If the answer to these questions is no, then this is precisely why you're listening to this audiobook. And this is precisely why building assets isn't a luxury for you. It's an absolute necessity for your survival and your family's security. Chapter 2. Types of assets that pay you forever. Now let's get into the real substance, my friend. Which assets pay you indefinitely? Which investments generate truly passive income? Here's the comprehensive list with detailed explanations for each category. 1. Dividend stocks. Claim your share of corporate profits. Dividend stocks are one of my absolute favorite asset types. Why? Because when you own dividend-paying stocks, you become a partial owner of real businesses. And when those businesses profit, money flows directly into your pocket. Think about it this way. Imagine a massive corporation. It has thousands of employees working every day, millions of customers buying its products, billions of dollars in annual revenue, and hundreds of millions in pure profit. And this company distributes a portion of its profits to its shareholders. If you own even a single share, you receive your portion of those profits, without doing any work, without showing up to an office, without having any involvement in the business operations, just by owning the shares, just by being patient, just by waiting. Poor people buy stocks hoping the price will go up. They try to buy low and sell high. This is essentially gambling. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's stressful, time-consuming, and unreliable. Rich people buy dividend-paying stocks and collect regular income regardless of price movements. Whether the stock price goes up or down, the dividends keep coming. This is a fundamentally different approach, and it makes all the difference in building lasting wealth. Some companies have been paying dividends without interruption for decades. 10 years, 20 years, 50 years or more of consistent payments. And they increase their dividend amount every single year. These companies are called dividend aristocrats, and they represent some of the most reliable wealth-building tools available. When you invest in these companies, your income grows every year too, without working harder, without putting in more hours, without any additional effort, just through patience and the power of compound growth. A stock you bought 10 years ago might now be paying you 15, 20, even 25% of your original investment as annual dividends. And here's where the magic of compound interest truly reveals itself. Instead of spending your dividends on consumption, reinvest them to buy more shares. Your income grows exponentially, like a snowball rolling downhill, gathering more snow with every rotation. It starts small, almost insignificant, but as years pass, it transforms into an unstoppable force of wealth creation. Do you know what Einstein reportedly said? Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. That single statement summarizes everything you need to know about building wealth. 2. Real estate investments, the ancient power of land. Real estate has been a wealth-building tool for centuries, perhaps millennia. Kings, emperors, aristocrats, the wealthy families throughout history, they all owned land. And there's a very good reason for this timeless strategy. Land is finite. There's only so much land on Earth, and that amount isn't increasing. But the human population keeps growing. Every year, millions of new people are born, and every single one of them needs somewhere to live, somewhere to work, somewhere to shop and eat and be entertained. Demand increases while supply remains fixed. What does this economic reality mean? Prices trend upward over the long term. It's basic economics working in your favor. When you purchase a property and rent it out, you receive regular monthly income. Your tenant essentially works for you. Your tenant pays down your mortgage for you. And every month, money flows into your bank account like clockwork. But real estate isn't just about rental income. There's also appreciation, the increase in property value over time. A property purchased in the right location at the right time can multiply in value over the years. A property bought for $200,000 a decade ago might be worth $600,000 today. Rental income plus appreciation. Two different streams of wealth from a single asset, working together to make you richer every year. Poor people say, I can't afford to buy property. It's too expensive. I don't have enough for a down payment. Rich people ask, how can I buy this property? Can I use leverage? Can I find partners? Can I house hack? Can I save for a down payment? How can I make this work? This difference in questioning, this shift in mindset, represents the most important step on the path to financial freedom. And remember, you don't need massive amounts of money to invest in real estate. Real estate investment trusts, REITs, allow you to buy shares from the stock market with small amounts. Real estate crowdfunding platforms exist. Partnerships are possible. The important thing is to start. The important thing is to take that first step, no matter how small. 3. Digital products. Create once, sell forever. We live in the digital age, my friend, and one of the greatest opportunities of this era is digital products. Write an ebook, create an online course, develop a mobile application, design templates, spreadsheets, or digital tools, compose music or create sound effects. Create it once and sell it infinitely. Production costs are nearly zero after the initial creation. No inventory to manage, no warehouse to rent, no shipping costs, no physical limitations whatsoever. You create it once, then sell it digitally unlimited times. Almost pure profit on every sale. Think about this carefully. You write a book. It takes maybe 6 months, maybe a year of dedicated effort. You pour your knowledge, your experience, your insights into those pages. But once it's written, that book can sell for years, even decades. Every sale puts money in your pocket. While you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're sick in bed, while you're working on your next project. Even 10 or 20 years from now, that book could still be generating income for you and your family. Poor people sell their time for hourly wages. They work 1 hour, they get paid for 1 hour. When they stop working, the money stops too. There's a direct, limiting relationship between their time and their income. Rich people work once and get paid forever. This is leverage. This is the secret weapon of wealth. Creating something once that pays you repeatedly, indefinitely, without additional time investment. Consider online courses. You're an expert in something. You have years of experience and knowledge. You transform that expertise into a structured course. You sit in front of a camera, you teach, you record. You record it once. But that course can be sold to thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people. You don't need to personally teach each one. You don't need to repeat yourself. Teach once, get paid 1,000 times, 10,000 times. There's no ceiling. Platforms like Udemy, Skillshare, Teachable, your own website, sell wherever you want. Passive income, money while you sleep, freedom while you live. 4. Intellectual property. Convert your creativity into cash. Intellectual property is an asset type that most people completely overlook, but wealthy people understand very well. Write a song, get the copyright. Every time that song plays on the radio, every time someone streams it on Spotify, every time it's used in a movie or commercial, you earn money. For years, for decades, potentially for generations. File a patent for your invention. Others pay you licensing fees to use your innovation. You don't have to manufacture anything, market anything, or sell anything directly. You just own the rights, and money flows in. Create a brand, build its value over time. Franchise it, license it, sell products under it. Convert brand equity into cold, hard cash. Let me give you a concrete example. Consider a photographer. They spend their weekends capturing beautiful images. They upload these photos to stock photography websites. Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, Getty Images, and dozens of others. They take one photograph. Maybe it takes 10 minutes of their time. But that single photograph can be purchased hundreds or thousands of times by different buyers around the world. A photo taken 10 years ago is still earning money today. That's passive income. That's building an asset that pays forever. If you have creativity, if you have a skill, if you have unique knowledge or perspective, you can convert that into money. And the best part? This income has no ceiling. Your time is limited, but the returns from your creativity can be unlimited. 5. Business systems. Build machines that work for you. When you start a business, you have two paths ahead of you. Either you work inside that business, or you make that business work for you. Poor people start businesses and become slaves to those businesses. They work from morning to night, sometimes around the clock. They can't take vacations because the business would fall apart. They can't get sick because revenue would stop. They haven't created a business for themselves. They've created a job for themselves, often a more demanding job than they had before. Rich people build systems and remain as owners, not operators. They create procedures, standard operating processes, training programs. They build teams and delegate responsibilities. They design the business to run without their constant presence. When they go on vacation, the business continues. When they sleep, money is still being made. Let me give you a restaurant example. If you're in the kitchen every day, personally cooking every meal, serving every customer, cleaning every table, handling every transaction, you don't have a business. You are the business. You're no different from a salaried employee, except you probably work more hours for less security. But if you create systems, standardize your recipes so any trained cook can replicate them, build a team you can trust, hire managers to handle daily operations, design processes that work without you, then you have a real asset. A business that generates wealth independently of your personal time. Think about McDonald's. There are tens of thousands of McDonald's restaurants worldwide. Millions of people eat there every single day. Billions of dollars flow through those golden arches annually. But the founder, Ray Kroc, wasn't flipping burgers 8 hours a day. He built a system. He created the franchise model. And that system worked for him, creating wealth on a scale most people can't even imagine. When you're building your own business or improving your existing one, ask yourself this crucial question. Can this business run without me? If I took a month-long vacation, would everything continue operating smoothly? If the answer is no, you haven't built a system yet. And a business without systems isn't truly an asset. It's just a demanding job you happen to own. Stop for a moment. My friend, if what I've been sharing resonates with you, if it sparked something inside you, if you feel that fire of possibility igniting, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Because we're not building an ordinary community here. We are people who refuse to stay broke. We are people who are tired of living paycheck to paycheck. We are people who are fighting for financial freedom with every decision we make. And I want you to be part of this family. Join this movement. Because together, we're building wealth. Together, we're creating freedom. Together, we're changing our lives and the lives of those we love. Chapter 3. The Golden Rules of Building Assets. Now let's get into the practical mechanics. You've learned about the different types of assets, but how exactly do you build them? Where do you even start? Here are the golden rules that separate the wealthy from the perpetually struggling. Rule 1. Pay yourself first. This rule is the cornerstone of financial success. It's a principle that wealthy people have practiced for centuries, written about in countless books, yet ignored by the vast majority of people. When you receive your paycheck, what's the first thing you do? Most people pay their bills first, then go shopping, then spend on entertainment, then try to save whatever's left over. But usually, there's nothing left. The wealthy do it differently. The moment their income arrives, they pay themselves first. They immediately set aside a portion of their earnings. They transfer it to their investment accounts. They direct it toward asset purchases. Then, they live on whatever remains. This simple change in sequence can transform your entire financial life. When you spend first and try to save later, there's never anything left to save. But when you save first and spend what remains, you naturally adjust your lifestyle to fit within that budget. How much should you set aside? At minimum, 10% of your income. Better yet, 20%. If possible, 30% or even more. The more you set aside, the faster you build wealth. But you might be thinking, my money is already tight. I can barely make ends meet. How can I possibly set aside anything? Here's the answer. Make it work. If it doesn't fit, make it fit. Cut your expenses. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions you don't really use. Eat out less frequently. Find cheaper alternatives for things you buy regularly. Downgrade services you don't need at premium levels. Poor people spend first and try to save what's left. Rich people save first and spend what's left. This simple change in order creates mountains of difference over 10, 20, 30 years. Rule 2. Harness the magical power of compound interest. Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. This single quote summarizes the most important principle in building wealth. Compound interest is actually a beautifully simple concept. Your money earns money. Then that earned money earns more money. Then that money earns even more money. And this continues, accelerating with each cycle. Let me illustrate with an example. You invest $100,000 and earn 10% annually. At the end of year 1, you have $110,000. In year 2, you earn 10% on $110,000. That's $11,000. Now you have $121,000. In year 3, you earn on $121,000. See how it works? Every year your earnings increase because you're earning returns on your previous returns. The snowball keeps getting bigger. In the early years, the difference seems small, almost negligible. But 20 years out, 30 years out, the difference is absolutely staggering. $100,000 invested today at 10% annual return becomes over $1,700,000 in 30 years. That's a 17-fold increase, just from patience and the mathematical magic of compounding. And here's the critical factor: time. The earlier you start, the more compound interest works in your favor. Someone who starts at 20 has an almost insurmountable advantage over someone who starts at 40. Because their money has twice as long to compound and multiply. Poor people prefer to spend today. They want instant gratification, immediate pleasure, consumption now. Rich people invest today and collect exponentially more tomorrow. Patience is the most essential ingredient in the recipe for wealth. Rule 3. Diversify, but don't over-diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, the old saying goes. This is sound advice. Being dependent on a single asset is risky. If that asset loses value, you could lose everything you've built. Diversification matters. Buy stocks across different sectors, invest in real estate, create digital products, build multiple income streams. When one goes poorly, others protect you. When one market crashes, other investments cushion the fall. But this doesn't mean you should scatter your eggs across 100 different baskets. Over-diversification creates its own problems. If you try to do a little bit of everything, you can't become an expert at anything. You can't go deep into any single area. And as a result, you won't make serious money from anything. You'll be mediocre across the board instead of excellent somewhere specific. Do you know what Warren Buffett says? Diversification is protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you're doing. If you truly understand what you're investing in, focus on a few good investments. Understand them deeply and thoroughly, and stay committed to them through market ups and downs. So you need to find balance. Invest in several different asset types to spread risk, but take each one seriously. Research thoroughly, learn deeply, become an expert. Don't randomly scatter your resources. Strategically diversify with purpose and understanding. Rule 4. Be patient. Don't rush. Wealth isn't built overnight. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And most people quit the race because they want to see results immediately. They plant a seed on Monday and expect a harvest by Friday. Poor people want to get rich quickly. They want to become millionaires in a year or two, so they chase risky bets, gamble on long shots, fall victim to scammers promising impossible returns. Rich people understand the power of slow and steady growth. They think in decades, not days. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They wait patiently, consistently adding to their investments, and over time, they build enormous fortunes that seem almost magical to outside observers. Think about a tree. You plant a seed today. Tomorrow, there's no tree. Maybe 5 years pass, maybe 10. But once that tree grows to maturity, it produces fruit for years, even decades. Every season, every year, without fail. Building assets works the same way. You might not see the fruits of your actions today. The progress might seem painfully slow. But those who are patient, who stay the course, who keep planting seeds, they always win in the end. Always. Remind yourself constantly, the small sacrifices I make today will transform into enormous freedoms tomorrow. Every dollar I don't waste today returns to me multiplied in the future. Rule 5. Never stop learning. The best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. Knowledge is power, and financial knowledge is financial power. Poor people come home from work, turn on the television, get lost in Netflix series, scroll endlessly through social media. They spend their precious free time on entertainment and distraction. Rich people come home from work, read books, listen to educational podcasts, take online courses, study, and learn. They spend their time on personal development and skill acquisition. What you consume determines what you become. Consume junk, produce junk. Consume quality, produce quality. Fill your mind with valuable information, and valuable outcomes will follow. Dedicate at least 30 minutes every single day to financial education. Read investment books from proven successful investors. Listen to finance podcasts from credible sources. Take online courses about money management, investing, and wealth building. Follow successful investors and learn from their strategies and mistakes. The more you learn, the better decisions you'll make. And good decisions are the foundation of all wealth. Never forget this truth. What you don't know costs you money. What you learn earns you money. This is why you must never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop improving your financial intelligence. Chapter 4. Practical step-by-step guide to getting started. All right, my friend, we've covered the theory. You understand the concepts, the principles, the rules. Now let's get into the practical application. What can you do today, starting from this very moment? Step 1. See your financial situation with complete clarity. First, you need to know exactly where you stand. What's your income? What are your expenses? Where does your money actually go? Do you know where every dollar ends up each month? For one full week, write down every single expense. Everything. From your morning coffee to your bus ticket, from grocery shopping to online purchases. Small or large, track every penny without exception. Then look at this list with honest eyes. See the patterns. Identify the unnecessary expenses. Determine what you can eliminate or reduce. Most people have no idea where their money actually goes. They're shocked when they see it in black and white. And what you can't measure, you can't control. That's why awareness is the first and most important step. Maybe you're buying 2 coffees a day. That's potentially $300 a month. Maybe you have subscriptions you've forgotten about, another $200 monthly. Maybe you're overpaying for phone plans, insurance, or services you don't fully use. See these leaks. Plug them. Redirect that money toward building your future. Step 2. Build your emergency fund. Before you start investing, create a safety net, an emergency fund. Enough money to cover at least 3 months of expenses, preferably 6 months or more. Why is this so critical? Because life is full of surprises, and not all of them are pleasant. You could lose your job unexpectedly. You could face a health crisis. Your car could break down. Your home might need emergency repairs. A family member might need help. In these moments, you don't want to be forced to touch your investments. You don't want to sell stocks when the market is down. You don't want to make panic-driven financial decisions that destroy years of progress. Your emergency fund is your financial airbag. When accidents happen, it protects you from catastrophic damage. With this fund in place, you can invest with confidence, knowing that temporary setbacks won't derail your entire wealth-building journey. Keep this money somewhere accessible, but separate from your daily spending account. A high-yield savings account works well. The goal isn't growth, it's protection and peace of mind. Step 3. Purchase your first asset. Is your emergency fund ready? Then you're prepared to start building wealth. Time to buy your first income-producing asset. Where should you begin? That depends on your specific situation. If you're starting with limited capital, the stock market is an excellent entry point. Buy dividend-paying stocks or low-cost index funds. You can start with small amounts, even $50 or $100. Invest consistently every month, regardless of market conditions. Over time, your portfolio will grow substantially. If you have particular skills or expertise, consider creating digital products. Write an ebook about something you know well. Transform your experience into an online course. Turn your abilities into templates, tools, or resources others would pay for. This is a fantastic way to build assets without requiring significant starting capital. If you have more money available, look into real estate. A small apartment, an office space, a plot of land. Or invest in real estate investment trusts if direct ownership isn't feasible yet. The important thing isn't waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity. The important thing is starting. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, you gain momentum. And momentum makes every subsequent step easier. Step 4. Set up automatic systems. Don't rely on willpower alone. Trust systems instead. Because willpower fluctuates daily. It gets emotional, tired, distracted. But a well-designed system works the same way every day, every month, every year, without fail. Set up automatic transfers on payday. The moment your salary arrives, money should automatically move to your investment accounts. No thinking required. No decisions to make. No temptation to overcome. Before you even have a chance to spend it, a portion is already saved and invested. Poor people make decisions every single time. Should I invest this month or not? They deliberate, they procrastinate, they rationalize, and most of the time, they decide not to invest. Rich people make one decision and build a system around it. That system works for them automatically, every month, every year, without requiring any additional willpower or discipline. Dividend reinvestment is another powerful systematic approach. Configure your brokerage account to automatically use your dividends to purchase more shares. Compound interest operates exactly this way, and without any ongoing effort from you, your wealth keeps growing. Step 5. Consistently grow and diversify. You've bought your first asset. You've set up systems. Regular investments are happening automatically. Now what? Time for growth and strategic diversification. As your income increases, increase your investment amount proportionally. Were you investing 10%? Move to 15%, then 20%. Keep your lifestyle relatively constant while directing raises and bonuses toward wealth building. Did you get a salary increase? Don't spend the entire raise on lifestyle upgrades. Direct half of it toward investments instead. Did you receive a bonus? Set aside a meaningful portion. Did unexpected money come your way? Don't blow it all. Invest some of it. And diversify thoughtfully. Do you have stocks? Look into real estate as well. Do you own real estate? Explore digital products. Do you have digital products? Consider other asset classes. Multiple income streams form the foundation of true financial security. If one source suffers, others keep you afloat and moving forward. What should your ultimate goal be? Having your passive income exceed your active expenses. When you reach that point, you're financially free. You no longer have to work. You work because you choose to, because you enjoy it, because it fulfills you. That's genuine freedom. That's what we're building toward. Chapter 5, The Wealth Mindset, the most important chapter. We've discussed the technical aspects of building assets, which assets exist, how to acquire them, what to do with them. But there's also a mental dimension to this journey. And honestly, this mental component is even more important than all the technical knowledge combined. Because without the right mindset, even with all the right information, you'll make wrong decisions. You'll lose what you gain. You'll miss opportunities standing right in front of you. You'll sabotage your own success in ways you won't even recognize. Examine your beliefs about money. What did you learn about money during childhood? How was money discussed in your family? What messages did you absorb? Did they say money doesn't grow on trees? Did they say rich people are bad, greedy, or dishonest? Did they say money can't buy happiness? Did they say wanting money is shameful or wrong? These beliefs may have embedded themselves deep in your subconscious mind, and without your awareness, they might be influencing every financial decision you make. If you hold negative beliefs about money, you might subconsciously feel guilty about saving or accumulating wealth. You might fear becoming wealthy. When money accumulates in your hands, you might feel an irresistible urge to spend it quickly. You might unconsciously sabotage your own financial success. Poor people carry negative beliefs about money. Money is evil. Rich people are thieves. Money corrupts good people. These beliefs act as invisible chains, keeping them trapped in scarcity. Rich people understand that money is simply a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or for harm. A knife can slice bread for a hungry family or cause injury. The problem isn't the knife, it's the person wielding it. Money works the same way. With money, you can do immense good. You can support your family comfortably. You can donate to causes that matter. You can create jobs that support other families. You can make the world a better place, or you can misuse it. But money itself is neither good nor evil. It's neutral. Just a tool. Stop now and think carefully. What negative beliefs do you hold about money? Identify them clearly, question them honestly, and work to change them deliberately. Because until your mindset changes, your results won't change either. Abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. There are two fundamentally different ways of viewing the world. And which one you adopt shapes your entire life, your every decision, your ultimate destiny. The scarcity mindset says, the pie is limited. If someone takes a bigger slice, there's less left for me. There aren't enough resources to go around. I must protect what little I have. If I share, I'll have nothing left. The abundance mindset says, the pie can grow. Everyone can have enough, and more. Opportunities are unlimited. I can share freely because there's always more available. Someone else's success doesn't diminish my possibilities. It might even create opportunities for me. Poor people live with a scarcity mindset. They envy others' success instead of learning from it. They miss opportunities because they're paralyzed by fear of loss. They cling tightly to what they have but can never grow it. Rich people embrace an abundance mindset. They find inspiration in others' achievements. They see opportunities everywhere and act on them. They share generously, collaborate freely, and grow continuously. This mindset difference manifests in every single decision. Someone with a scarcity mindset fears investing. What if I lose money? What if it doesn't work out? What if the market crashes? They miss opportunities. They avoid necessary risks. And ultimately, they stay exactly where they are, never progressing. Someone with an abundance mindset sees possibilities others miss. They take calculated risks with confidence. Even when they lose, they learn valuable lessons. They try again, adapt, and improve. And over the long term, they win. They always win. Which mindset do you currently operate from? The power of long-term thinking. Human nature craves instant gratification. We're evolutionarily programmed this way. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors needed to prioritize immediate survival. Finding food today mattered more than planning for next year because tomorrow wasn't guaranteed. But in the modern world, this ancient instinct keeps us financially trapped. Spend today, enjoy now, worry about tomorrow later. Swipe the credit card, you can pay it off eventually. This thinking pattern is a prescription for financial disaster. Wealth begins with overcoming this deeply ingrained instinct. Sacrifice today to win tomorrow. Delay immediate pleasure to receive far greater long-term rewards. Poor people live for today. They ask what they want right now. They focus on today's pleasures and today's desires. Rich people think 10, 20, 30 years ahead. They ask where they want to be in a decade. They evaluate how today's decisions will impact their lives years from now. Before every financial decision, ask yourself, will this decision make my future self happy? Does this expense contribute to my eventual freedom, or does it steal from my future? This simple question will prevent countless unnecessary purchases, and it will move you one step closer to lasting wealth with every decision you make. Don't fear failure. Learn from it. Failure is the price of success. Every successful person has failed multiple times along the way, and they learned from each failure, using those lessons to eventually triumph. Poor people fear failure so much they never try anything. What if it doesn't work out? What if I lose money? What if people judge me? So they stay frozen in place, never attempting, never risking, never growing. Rich people view failure as a teacher. Every failure contains a lesson. Every setback is a learning opportunity. They fall down, they get back up, they keep moving forward with new knowledge. Some of your investments will go badly. Some business ideas will flop. Some ventures will fail completely. This happens to everyone who tries. It's completely normal and expected. The crucial thing is not giving up. Extract lessons from every fall. Get back on your feet, apply what you've learned, and try again with greater wisdom. Thomas Edison reportedly failed 1,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. When asked how it felt to fail 1,000 times, he said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I successfully discovered 1,000 ways that don't work." That's the wealth mindset right there. There is no failure, only feedback. Learn from everything and keep moving forward. Chapter 6. Deadly Traps to Avoid at All Costs. On the journey to building assets, certain traps await. Falling into these traps can destroy years of hard work and progress in an instant. Here's what you must watch out for. Trap 1. Get-rich-quick schemes. Guaranteed 10 times return in a week. Risk-free investment opportunities. Guaranteed returns with no downside. Monthly profits of 50% or more. When you hear these promises, run. Run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. Real wealth takes time to build. Get-rich-quick promises are almost always scams. Ponzi schemes, pyramid structures, cryptocurrency frauds, fake investment opportunities. They all exploit human greed and desperation. Poor people chase fast money. They dream of getting wealthy overnight, and they get swindled. They lose years of savings, sometimes their entire life's accumulation, in a single bad decision. Rich people expect realistic returns. 10% annually, 15% in a good year. These are solid, achievable returns. Anyone promising 100% monthly is either lying or delusional. If something seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is. Be skeptical. Do thorough research. Never rush into anything that promises extraordinary returns. Trap 2. Excessive debt. Debt is a double-edged sword. Used correctly, it can help build assets and accelerate wealth creation. Used incorrectly, it can absolutely destroy your financial life. Consumer debt is the worst kind of debt. Credit card balances for shopping, personal loans for consumption, financing for unnecessary items. These slowly but surely make you poorer with every passing month. Paying interest means making someone else wealthy at your expense. Every interest payment you make flows out of your pocket and into the bank's vault. You get poorer while they get richer. Poor people go into debt for consumption. Cars, phones, vacations, gadgets, things they don't really need. They borrow to look wealthy while becoming actually poorer. Rich people use debt for investment, mortgages on rental properties that generate positive cash flow, business loans that create profitable enterprises, leverage on assets that produce more than the cost of borrowing. If you want debt to work for you instead of against you, follow this rule. The money you borrow must earn you more than the cost of borrowing. If a loan costs you 8%, but your investment returns 12%, the math works in your favor. Otherwise, that debt is making you poorer, not richer. Trap 3. Lifestyle inflation. Did your income increase? Did you get a raise at work? Did you receive a bonus? What do you do? Most people immediately upgrade their lifestyle. Bigger apartment, nicer car, fancier restaurants, more expensive clothes. Income went up, so spending goes up proportionally. This lifestyle inflation is perhaps the greatest enemy of wealth. Because no matter how much you earn, if your spending increases at the same rate, you'll never become wealthy. You'll always be running on the same hamster wheel, just a slightly nicer one. Poor people increase spending when income increases. They earn more, they spend more. They stay in exactly the same financial position regardless of how much they make. Rich people increase investments when income increases. They keep lifestyle relatively constant. They save and invest the difference, and their wealth grows exponentially while others wonder how they got so far ahead. Think about it this way. Your salary increases 20%. You can spend that entire 20% on lifestyle upgrades. Nicer car, bigger apartment, fancier things. Or you can direct it toward investments. 5 years later, the person who chose the second path has made serious progress toward financial freedom. The first person is still living paycheck to paycheck, just a more expensive paycheck to paycheck. Trap 4. Comparison disease. Your neighbor's new car, your friend's vacation photos on Instagram, your coworker's designer watch, the luxury lifestyles flooding your social media feeds. Don't look at these things and feel bad about yourself, because what you see is usually not reality. That car was probably bought on credit. That vacation was probably charged to credit cards. That luxury lifestyle might be financed by crushing debt. People display their spending, not their wealth. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are completely different things, often opposites. Poor people spend money on appearances. They buy things to impress others. They live for show. Rich people invest in their future. They have nothing to prove to anyone. They build wealth quietly, away from public view. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Did you invest more this month than last month? Are you wealthier this year than last year? That's what matters. Not what anyone else is doing, not what things look like from the outside, only your actual progress. Trap 5. Taking zero risk. Yes, risky investments can be dangerous, but taking no risk at all is also dangerous, perhaps even more dangerous. If you keep your money under your mattress, what happens? If you leave it in a low-interest bank account indefinitely, inflation devours it. Every year it loses purchasing power. In 10 years, the same amount of money buys half of what it used to buy. Taking no risk is watching your money slowly melt away. This is also a risk, and it's a guaranteed loss, not a possible one. Poor people avoid all risk and lose to inflation. Their purchasing power diminishes every single year while they think they're being safe. Rich people take calculated risks and beat inflation. They grow their wealth while others watch theirs shrink. Of course, you won't take foolish risks. You won't put all your money into a single speculative stock. You won't invest in things you don't understand. You won't gamble. but you will take educated, calculated, diversified risks. You'll research, you'll learn, you'll understand, and you'll make informed decisions based on knowledge rather than fear. Not taking any risk is the biggest risk of all. Never forget this truth. Chapter 7. The Stages of Your Financial Freedom Journey. Financial freedom doesn't happen all at once. It occurs in stages, progressively, and knowing each stage helps you see where you currently are, measure your progress, and maintain your motivation. Stage 1. Financial awareness. This is the starting point. The moment your eyes open to reality, you know where your money goes, you track your expenses, you understand the difference between assets and liabilities. At this stage, you might not have made big changes yet, but you're conscious and aware. And consciousness is the first step toward transformation. Most people never even reach this stage. Stage 2. Financial stability. You have an emergency fund in place. 3 to 6 months of expenses safely set aside. Your debt is under control. You can save something every month. Unexpected expenses no longer throw you into crisis mode. At this stage, you still need to work actively, but at least you're standing on solid ground. Your foundation is secure. No panic, no constant fear. Stage 3. Debt freedom. You have no consumer debt, no credit card balances, no car loans. Perhaps a mortgage remains, but that's all. The money you earn belongs to you, not to banks collecting interest. Reaching this stage is a major achievement because now the bulk of your income can go toward investments. Compound interest begins working for you at full force. Stage 4. Financial security. Your passive income covers your basic needs: rent or mortgage, food, utilities, transportation. These necessities are paid through passive income streams. Even if you stopped working, these fundamental expenses would be handled. At this stage, losing your job wouldn't be catastrophic. Your basic living standard would continue. Stress decreases significantly. The feeling of freedom begins to emerge. You're working to grow, not just to survive. Stage 5. Financial independence. Your passive income completely covers your current lifestyle. Not just basics, everything. Entertainment, vacations, hobbies, dining out. You don't have to work anymore. This is the point most people aim for: early retirement. The FIRE movement focuses here. Work becomes a choice, not a requirement. You do work you want to do, when you want to do it, for as long as you want. Stage 6. Financial freedom. Your passive income supports the lifestyle of your dreams. Not just your current lifestyle, your ideal one. Luxury travel, expensive hobbies, generous charitable giving. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. At this stage, money is no longer a constraint. Time and energy become your only limited resources, and you deploy them however you choose. Stage 7. Financial abundance. You have more money than you could ever spend, and you use this abundance to help others. You fund scholarships for deserving students. You donate generously to causes you care about. You support social projects that make a difference. You make the world a better place. This stage represents the most meaningful level of wealth, because you're no longer just creating value for yourself, you're creating value for others and for society. Which stage are you currently at? What do you need to do to advance to the next one? What will you do now? My friend, we've journeyed together through a lot of material. We learned what assets truly are. We explored which assets pay forever. We discussed the golden rules. We examined practical steps. We explored the wealth mindset. We identified dangerous traps. We mapped the stages of the journey. Now I'm going to ask you the most important question of all. What are you going to do with all of this? Because knowledge is power, but only when applied. Unused knowledge is merely potential power, and potential that's never realized serves no purpose whatsoever. Thousands of people will listen to this audiobook and do absolutely nothing with it. They'll listen, nod their heads, think, "That's nice information," and return to their old lives unchanged. Nothing will be different tomorrow than it was yesterday. But some people will listen and take action. They'll take one step, then another, and someday they'll look back and realize their entire lives have transformed because of the decisions they made starting today. Which group will you belong to? Poor people learn and forget. Rich people learn and apply. That's the entire difference between those who struggle and those who thrive. Here's my challenge to you. Within 72 hours of finishing this audiobook, take one action, just one single step. It can be small, it doesn't matter. Start tracking your expenses today, or set up an automatic investment contribution, or purchase your first dividend stock, or begin writing your ebook. Do something, anything, because the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And once you take that step, you gain momentum. Every step makes the next one easier, and someday you'll look back amazed at how far you've traveled from where you started. Remember this, my friend. Financial freedom is not a gift. It's a choice. You make this choice every single day, with every expense, every investment, every decision. Will you watch television today or read a book? Will you spend money on wants or invest in your future? Will you complain about your circumstances or create solutions? Every small choice leads to massive results over time. Drops become oceans. Seeds become forests. Choose wealth. Choose freedom. Choose your future. Poor people say, "I wish I had money." Rich people ask, "How can I create money? How can I build wealth? How can I make this happen?" When you change the questions you ask, you change the life you live. You're different, my friend. You listened to this entire audiobook. That's something most people don't do. Most people who start something like this quit halfway through. You didn't quit. This proves your potential. This shows your determination and commitment. Now it's time to transform that potential into reality. Assets that pay forever can be yours too. Passive income is an achievable goal for you too. Financial freedom is a story you can write too. All it requires is starting today, taking one step today, making a decision today. And I believe with absolute certainty that you can do this. I'm with you on this journey, through every step, every decision, every challenge. Now go and build your assets. Go and create your freedom. Go and change your life. Because, my friend, you deserve this. You truly do. If you found value in this audiobook, subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you'll be informed about new content as it's released. Share this content with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe a friend, a family member, someone struggling financially. Sharing knowledge is one of the most valuable gifts you can give. And tell me in the comments, what one step will you take today? Which asset will you start building? Which habit will you change? I read every single comment, and together we're building wealth. Together we're creating freedom. Together we're changing lives. Until next time, my friend, best wishes on your journey to financial freedom.